Welcome to QI, where tonight we're all kings for a day. Joining me at court are His Majesty King James VI, Jimmy Carr. His Majesty King William III, Bill Bailey. His Majesty King Jeremy the only Jeremy Clarkson. And King Alan Davis. So, before we commence our battle royal, let the trumpet sound. Jimmy goes. Bill goes. Jeremy goes. And Alan goes. Why am I not surprised? Now, here are some kings that I'm sure you're utterly aware of. But can you tell me how they got their nicknames? These are all real kings, and they're real nicknames.
Is this what people called them while they were actually on the throne? Because history is always written by the victors, and therefore you have got William the Conqueror, who was probably called William the Weak.
Yeah.
Well, he was probably William the I'm going to give you this a go.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't we have that now anymore? Why isn't it Queen Elizabeth the German?
I know. Constantine, you should be able to guess where he comes from.
Sorry. Greece.
Of your crown.
Yeah, it's look, it's done that. You see, that's it.
It's a medieval torture.
Yeah, this is what they put round royal dogs to stop them nibbling their stitches.
Imagine the crown, mate.
Has your head lost weight?
It has, yes. Yeah.
It's lost even more hair than when we started. Sorry.
That's right. Yes, I do apologise. It's just...
You're welcome to take it off.
We're going to need a bigger king.
You can abdicate. No, that's going to hurt.
So,
just no.
2-year-old tailor clothes.
Bill, try and get it down the other way. Try and get it down the other way.
So I'm going to try and go through it?
Yeah, try and go through it. I think this is... Come on, Bill.
And that's the last we ever saw of him.
That's not good. That's not a good look.
I was thinking of Zoidberg from Futurama.
Honestly, you look fine. You look fine.
So that's something out of Lord of the Rings now.
I'm going to put this as my passport photo. What do you do? I'm a fighting king. What do you want?
You can take it off now. You can all take off your crowns.
Oh, God, thank you.
If you're more comfortable.
Thank you very much, yes.
So, this brings us to these names.
Constantine
the Great, the first Constantine was...
Is he Greek?
Well, he was a Roman emperor, but he moved the capital from Rome to his new city, Constantinople, and he became Christian. Yeah. And this particular one is a descendant of his, who became very unpopular, and so his enemies claimed that when he was baptised, he was so nervous, he pooed in the baptismal font.
Ah, well, we've all done that.
We've all had nights out.
Yeah.
So they called him Copronym, which is the Greek for crap name.
Oh,
Poo name.
Poo name?
Copronym.
Was he christened then as a child or as an adult? Did he? Because it was worse, I think, as an adult.
But either way, it's embarrassing if you're an emperor and that's all they call you is poo name.
Still an emperor?
Yeah, still an emperor. Still emperor. So what were the other ones? Let's have a look. See if you can have any sort of mild guess.
I suppose.
Louis the Universal Spider. He was actually Louis the 11th of France. So been a lot of Louis. So what sort of century would Louis be? I'll give you 10 points if you're within the right century. Oh, 15th, in fact. 15th, in the 1400s. What they call the Quattrocento. These days they do, don't they?
Could he climb up the water spout?
No. It's because he had webs of conspiracies all across Europe.
Oh. It wasn't because he got stuck in the bath.
No, he was friends of Philip the... They all had names. Friends of Philip the...
Spaniard.
Philip the Good.
You see, there's
always going to be Philip the Fly. The Good shows a lack of imagination, doesn't it?
Yeah, Philip the Good.
Good's good, though, isn't it? It's better than Dave the Satisfactory.
That's the best you could have hoped for on your reports.
That's probably what channel we're on now.
Graham the Outstanding.
But I think he was called good, unfortunately, because he pursued so many crusades, which are not considered good these days, went off to the Holy Lands and killed people.
We'd never do that today.
No. So the next one is King Eystein the Fart.
Is that meant to say Einstein, but he...
No, it is
got it wrong.
Einstein
the fart.
So he farted once.
No, the fart is Norwegian. Audience, do you know what fart means in this context? Speedy. Speedy, fast, exactly, speedy, quick.
Oh, so it's just a typo. Really.
Lost a little...
It's correct in Norwegian.
Lost a little bit in the translation.
He travelled a lot. And he was also the first source we have in writing of ice skating. He described his own ice legs. Exactly.
Yeah, ice legs.
But he was succeeded by his son, whom you will like, who has one of the best names, I think, of any king, Halfdan the Mild.
Half a mile brings Dan, isn't it?
Halfdan the Mild.
Yeah. Foreign policy was like, be fine.
I think that's lovely.
I've never understood why they don't do that with warships.
What, called
HMS Mild.
Instead of Intrepid or
HMS Weak.
Yes.
Vulnerable. The Vulnerable. That'd be a good one to say.
HMS Unarmed.
HMS Help.
HMS Colander. That'd be a good one.
Right, let's go to King Ragnar. Why was he called what he was called?
Hairy breeches.
Was he very hairy?
He wore hairy breeches.
Breeches?
Oh, did he really?
His wife made them out of animal hide, and they supposedly were there to protect him. But as you can see, he's here being killed. And how's he being killed?
By his own trousers. He doesn't kill the animals before he made the clothes.
His Viking ship capsized off the coast of Northumbria, and he was thrown into a pit of poisonous snakes.
What, in Northumbria?
By the King of England, who was at the time King Ella.
Where did he find these poisonous snakes from then in Northumbria?
Yeah, but that wouldn't
have adders that would give you a bit of an itch. They're not
It
really
may be a made-up story, but
Yes.
Ragnar was eventually avenged by his son, who was called Ivar the Boneless.
That's a great name, what would be that?
He'd be called Ivar the Viagra these days.
Get through railing.
Yeah.
And he got his revenge on King Ella. It's a pretty good superpower. Didn't one of the Fantastic Four have that?
In Valiant comic, there used to be Janus, who was an escapology...
Bottom with a J in front.
He could... Yes, that's right. And he could get through tiny gaps.
Oh. There you go. Janus.
Every week, he seemed to be in a situation...
A Janal situation.
It would be really helpful if he could get through a tiny gap. I don't know how the writers kept coming up with these scenarios where the only solution was for Janus to get through a tiny gap, but he was always going through drain grids and that sort of thing.
And avoiding the door that was open. Oh, no. That'd be too easy, wouldn't it?
Quite often he'd forgotten his keys.
That's King Raglan, the hairy breeches, been killed by King Ella, looking down on him, in a pit.
Geordies.
But he was avenged by having his ribs opened and his lungs spread out against his chest, which was known as...
Boneless did.
And it was called the... Say again?
What was it?
The Blood Eagle, yes. Very good. Audience, 10 points.
And was he...
He wasn't that boneless if he had a rib cage, then.
No, he did it to his...
Oh, he did it to
his
someone
father.
else?
Yeah,
But presumably,
Yeah.
this person was... it was against his will.
Yes,
It wasn't just go and then... Hey!
The thing to have done would have been to put hinges in before he arrived.
Yeah.
So it would have been like a cabinet.
But I saw a documentary about heart surgery, and to get through the sternum, they used a power saw.
Oh, I know, it's
I mean,
horrible. Because you think you're going to open it like a saloon, Western saloon bar.
No, it's quite hard to get in there.
Yeah.
Or a little toffee hammer, and it takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's really...
Yeah, when they say he's been in surgery for 8 hours, they're not 8 hours doing the surgery, that's really just the knocking through.
Why don't you just use a big hammer?
No, but that's a crude instrument, isn't it?
It's a very small power saw. I mean,
Yes.
it's not a great big...
Right,
Well,
it's
no,
huge.
not a logging thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tiny, tiny...
But when you're over a certain age, they can't risk doing that to you anymore, and they actually go up through the thigh. Well, not the penis.
Up through the... Whoop, through the penis. Keyhole surgery.
Keyhole surgery, very good.
What I mean... Requires a steady hand, obviously.
Don't be absurd. They go up through the anus.
Oh,
So sorry, Stephen.
They got through a major...
yeah, like your mate through the tiny cracks.
I was called
I've
James.
got a job for you, Jamie. There you go. Oh, God, steady, chap.
Stephen, now, I've got a question about farts.
Oh, yes.
Do you think that farts smell before they come out?
I'm not going in to find out.
Quite a philosophical one from you.
If you went up someone when Janus goes up...
Wait, hold on.
You wouldn't have to hold your nose, is what I'm saying. You'd be free to use both hands.
If you have a colonoscopy, if you were to have a colonoscopy, you know, 24 hours before, you have to take these unbelievably powerful...
hallucinogenics. Oh, I'm being taken by a space octopus.
How does it always end up like this on QI? Kings and it was all known.
Alan said about does a fart smell when it's in you?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever tested to see how quickly asparagus makes you wee smell?
Oh, it's amazingly quick. But there are some people to whom that doesn't have the effect. Just as some people have their pee going red when they eat beetroot and other people don't. I don't go red when I've had beetroot.
Oh, God, no, not pee.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Have you never had the disaster?
What do you mean?
Oh, no, the
other juice.
Again, we're back on shitting. But I was having a poo one morning and turned round and it was bright red. And I just thought, well, that's it. That's arse cancer. And I'm history. And so I thought, well, fair enough, you know. I've had a great life. I've had a great life. I've had a great life to just relax.
Yeah.
And so this went on for several days, and each morning,
Bright red.
yeah, beetroot.
Beetroot shouldn't put them there.
But the relief.
Well, what would I mean if you just thought, oh, that's it, and then you just go on a bender for 5 days? Find out all your ex-girlfriends.
3 days. I didn't tell anyone. I was a bit weepy.
Oh, really?
Oh. And then mentioned it to somebody who said, no, have you been eating beetroot? And I bought a load of beetroot salad, and that was it.
I had a very similar experience. And oh, my God! And I'm an alien, so I thought... And then phoned the doctor, they go, oh, we better bring a sample in. So got a sample in a jar, and went in the doctor's, obviously keeping it out of sight, and... went up to the desk and they said name and you know Bailey like that. And they said, "What's it for?" And I went, "It's an abnormal bowel movement." Like that. And they went, "Oh, what's the initial for?" I went, "Oh, Christ." You didn't hear that?
Brilliant. Pushing on. Name a cobra beginning with K.
King.
Jeremy. A king cobra isn't actually a cobra. It has its own genus, which is, in fact, Ophiophagus, which would tell... sounds like
Ophiofagus?
No, Ophiophagus. Phagus means... eating.
Eating.
Ophio...
Ophio...
It means snake. So it's actually a snake-eating snake.
A snake-eating snake?
Which is what a king cobra is.
Yes, it is.
Other snakes.
That's right. I saw a cobra eat a snake.
The true cobras belong to the genus Nadger, and that includes the Coorthia and the Catiensis, the Malian cobra, if you wanted to know.
Oh, so close.
Well, maybe you can make up for your lack of points by making the noise that a king cobra makes.
No, I'm just going out Clarkson again, aren't I? It doesn't make a
what
noise.
You make. It does make a noise. It makes a very distinctive noise.
Was it... all right, OK.
Does it
Hello!
Very good. So just imitate a king cobra if you can.
Shall I take one for the team?
Does it bark?
Oh, you did the hiss.
It wasn't...
No, Alan did the hiss. But you did the bark, so you get points back for that.
It does it hiss.
It barks.
What do you mean it barks?
It barks
like a dog.
Like a
Who
dog.
does the research for this?
Do you want to hear it?
No. It just seems that we should get some... OK.
Here we go.
There you go.
There's no way that's a snake.
Cobra. Fact.
Bring him out. Bring him out.
Just to prove it. You thought he was over and over, but he's here tonight. Please welcome. Sorry.
Can we hear that again?
Stephen Fry's
Can I just say it was a guess?
Fucking cock-alike.
It's a bacteria noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like if we played that a few times, it would sound like the TARDIS. Should we just...
OK, keep going.
See if we can play...
That is...
Anyway, it has a little sort of special place in its trachea and a kind of kazoo-like membrane, and it makes that noise.
I'm surprised we didn't know that.
So, wait a minute. A kazoo-like membrane?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like one, I grant you. No, I grant you it doesn't sound like one.
OK.
What else is interesting about king cobras? How venomous are they? How much venom?
Really venomous.
Yeah, they have more venom than any other snake, but it's not as venomous, but they just have more of it.
They've got more of it, and they envenomate more often.
They venomate a lot.
And they chase you.
Yeah, so they're really bad. So
Well, they
can kill
chase you while barking.
It's warning enough to stay away.
Yeah.
You can kill 20 men with one bite, or one elephant.
One bite can kill 20 men?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, it's... No, you're not going to get 20 men who are linked unless you've been watching Human Centipede or something. A strange number of the audience. So, now... Oh, dear, why are we just always in this region? It's so unfortunate. Why might a Frenchman want this up his bottom?
Because the French love shoving things up their bottom.
Oh! It's true, if you ask for an asprin in France, they will do their first action
straight up the bottom.
Is it to get tapeworms?
No, it is a surgical instrument, and it was devised for one particular... What's our theme this evening?
Kings.
Who's the most famous king of France?
Louis XIV.
Louis XIV, the Sun King.
Yeah.
And he was very fond of riding and enemas, as they all were in those days. And
was he constipated often?
it was worse than that. He developed a condition which has a particular name.
Fecal concreting.
It's in the fecal area. It's when a duct appears between two organs and connects them that they shouldn't be connected. It causes great pain. And it's called...
That's a hernia.
It means a little pipe in Latin.
Ask Ribcage Man, he'll know.
It means a little pipe, and it is... Fistula.
Fistula.
Yeah. So they're very good, this audience.
So are we doing like sort of QI historical embarrassing bodies?
Anyway, Louis XIV had a terrible fistula, and his doctor... That's the dilator. That's the dilator.
That's what they use for the common man when he
The king had to have that too. He had to dilate it with that. I'm afraid that would have hurt a lot.
Yes, but I'm sorry, we still haven't got to why you'd want to put a cobra up his bottom.
Well, that was in order to pierce and slice the fistula so that it healed.
What?
Yeah, and it worked.
Really?
It worked. So Felix Tassi, who was the name of the doctor, was given an estate and became hugely popular, and no less than 30 courtiers mimicking the king said, yeah, actually, I've got one of those too. You know, it's a really cool thing to have. Suddenly, having a fistula was the thing at Versailles. So he had this huge order book, basically. But to be fair to him, he didn't perform the operation on anyone who didn't need it. He was good enough to spot when people were faking just by trying to mimic a king.
So was that invented for the king?
Yes,
so presumably
it was
the doctor
precisely
said,
made for the king.
come in, pop up on the table, pop that off for me,
Yep.
and I'm just going to put this up your bum. If it doesn't work...
What is the instrument on the left, then? What is that called? Does that have a name?
I don't know if it actually has a name. I guess it's a fistula.
It's called a...
a fistula.
I imagine it's now used as a toothpick, of course.
Yeah. That's the King's Relief.
A fistula,
If you want
scalpel,
to
or
pick your
curvet.
teeth from the back of your throat, it comes right out.
Oh,
I
dear.
can't get to my back tooth. Don't worry, sir. We'll go in the other way.
But as I say, the weird thing is that 30 courtiers pretended to have this condition so that they could sort of boast about having had the royal operation. Anyway, moving on. What has 20 legs, 5 heads, and can't reach its own nuts?
Wait, hold on. 20 legs, what?
5 heads.
5 heads.
Yep.
Westlife.
Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky, because I know what the Clarkson was.
I presume the Clarkson, shall I?
Yeah, go on.
One Direction?
So behind, Jeremy, it's very sweet.
Some kind of hideously mutated Tyrannosaurus.
Well, it's got the word
squirrel.
king in it, oddly enough. And
Is
it's
it a plant?
Sounds like a gypsy band, but it's the Squirrel Kings.
Squirrel Kings.
What would Squirrel Kings be?
The best squirrel.
But, yeah.
Well, oddly enough, no, it's really unfortunate. Normally they squirm around and on the trees, but sometimes trees exude a sticky sap.
Yes.
And when that happens and the baby squirrels get their tails in the sticky sap, their
In the
tails
line.
get stuck together, and you can get this, where they're absolutely stuck together.
Oh, that's fucking hysterical. Seriously, they're stuck together.
You are so bad. And the audience goes, oh.
It's not. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard of. And they're never going to be organised enough to all say, right, ready, steady, all run off in different directions. You'll never be able to do that.
But eventually, I'm afraid they will perish.
If you saw the damage squirrels
They do.
they are appalling rats.
Talking of rats, I know people call them tree rats, and the phenomenon was first spotted in rats in Germany, and there are, in museums and universities in Germany, there are examples of huge rat kings where rats have been shoved together and preserved in alcohol. That's a vast one. It's pretty disgusting looking, as you
Rats
can see.
can fall asleep in the sewer, and they sleep together for warmth, and then they can urinate while they're asleep, so they're all just lying in their own
I
urine.
can do that.
And then sometimes it gets so cold that the urine then freezes, and that kills them.
Oh.
They die in their own frozen urine.
Well, thank you for that fact. I'm sure you'll get points.
It's a beautiful story.
It's beautiful. Don't change a word of
Which
it.
trees? Are they lime trees that cause this? I want to know specifically. Is it a lime tree that does it?
Just one that exudes a lot of sticky sap.
Well, that'd
will
be
do
lime,
you. Lime
presumably.
does exude a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And some trees, of course, exude a lot of
You could just
oxygen.
buy some sort of maple syrup, couldn't you, and just put it in the garden?
Well,
Hope
this
for
is
the
what I'm
best.
thinking.
Oh, you are
Treacle.
sick.
Right.
Treacle.
What about glue?
Clarkson
glue.
in
Glue only sticks people's fingers together. You know that. Everybody knows that. So it's super glue. It's like you nail a car to a wall. Not nail it. Glue a car. You can't. It will only glue.
your fingers together.
It will only... And also, have you ever spilt any on your inner thigh?
What are you trying to do?
But it was meant for skin. That's why
It was
sticks
a
skin.
battlefield, exactly. The
Yeah.
only thing that's all it can actually do is be a battlefield wound. If you try and glue a teapot lid back together again, you'll
No, it
be
doesn't
stuck.
work, I know.
What was it invented
It was
for?
in the Vietnam
Yeah.
War when they had battlefield wounds and they didn't have access to be stitched up. They would use this. They developed this glue. It sticks skin together. So they seal the wound up, get them back to the triage
Yep,
area,
exactly.
and then treat them.
Especially in hot climates like Vietnam, where infections replicate at double, triple, quadruple the speed that they would here in Britain, say. So you really need to close the wound instanta. Stat, as they say.
How do the tails
In the
get
rats'
stuck
case, I
together?
don't know. They may just have got
Not the
tangled
rats,
and
no,
they
I'm
stuck.
more interested in squirrels.
I'm not going to be
So
the
they
one
go
who
up the
teaches
tree.
you to murder squirrels.
They must be
It's
when
not
they're little tiny
murdering, it's
babies.
pest control for the sake of Britain's woodland. They go up the tree and they get it on their tail.
Yes.
What makes them then go near another
Well, they
one?
wriggle over each other as they look for their mother's milk, because they're still at that
Oh,
stage.
they're baby squirrels?
Yes, they're babies.
Oh, that's a bit sad.
Oh, he has got a heart,
Call yourself a
ladies
tough
and
guy,
gentlemen.
look at you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll catch you in a minute. You'll be caught on camera smearing Prit on the bumper of your car. won't you?
All right. Now, how could King's Cross Station possibly be improved?
Turn into a car park.
Wagamama's.
Well, we're in your area,
Haven't
which
they?
is
They've got the
transport.
Harry Potter platform there, haven't they?
They do indeed have the Harry
Well, they
Potter.
should just let the kids go for it, I think. That's how you can... Occasionally you see someone
It's
go,
true,
no,
it's
just
true.
don't. There should be someone there going, no, I have to have a proper run.
It's true.
Good luck.
This was the plan in 1931.
Oh, to improve it.
Was it the
age
Germans' plan?
Of optimism and pride and speed and machinery and...
Oh, wasn't it after that?
So was the roof... Yeah,
Glass.
kind of-
Runway.
The roof was flat.
Runway.
Yes. It was to have an inner airport for London.
No
on the
way.
roof
What,
of
land?
King's Cross. And look at that design.
What?
What's
Boris
cool
Johnson
is that?
messing around with the Thames history
Yeah,
when we
no,
could have
isn't
one
that
there?
brilliant?
Well, hang, it's brilliant, apart from whoever's in the middle, where there's going to be some traffic.
Yeah.
It's controlled.
I can see where the crashes are going to take place.
It's controlled.
No, that's
It had radio.
Wait a
Same
minute.
way.
That's a device for gluing squirrels' tails together, surely.
Isn't it so great, isn't it? And obviously the jet era would have got rid of it because they're not long enough for jet runways, but they are long enough for ordinary prop airplanes.
But light aircraft could land
Yes,
on it.
they
Why would
could.
you? And then people could commute to London and it would be great.
Really great. And they had a series of elevators designed so the airplanes would be hangared in and then lifted up.
That's not just some Form 4B.
They took it quite
homework.
seriously.
That was serious.
Yeah. It is lovely, isn't it? I'm very impressed with it.
Quite difficult to land on a kind of a bend, though, isn't it? Like that.
I think you used the straight bits.
That would have been an amazing pilot's last word. This is tricky.
Now, why do more than 300 people need to die before you finally get a Burger King?
So it's not actually Burger King with a capital B, capital K, then?
Well, it is actually a capital B, very much so.
A German
it's American.
burger could be...
No, as in burger
Could be a
town.
German,
No, it's
could be
clever
a
thinking, but
relative
it's not.
of the
It's a-
Queen's.
How many...
300 people need to die.
There's a-
Is this King Ralph?
Well, it's like King Ralph. 300 people need to die for this
About
burger to be
someone who's
to
the
get a Burger
300th
King.
in line to
So
the
Mr.
More than 300, I said.
Mr.
So in fact,
Burger.
I want to see Mr.
there's someone called Burger, Wesley Burger from Oregon, is 305th in line to the throne. So
In
if
his
304
mind.
people are killed, and we, between us, can do it, we'll have a Burger King.
But surely at something like the royal wedding, I often think that when, like, if the roof fell in, heaven forfend, at the royal wedding,
Yes.
you sort of think, well, who would be next? It'd be
That
Fergie.
is-
She wasn't
that is-
invited.
You're right.
They must have had him on the phone going, are you ready? It's your big day tomorrow if this doesn't
Come
work
on,
out.
Wesley. Wesley! Learn the ways of the Force.
Is that actually him?
That's Wesley Burger. This is really interesting, I think. The law has changed, as you probably know, so that now the firstborn will be made monarch, not the first male. So if in 1901, when Queen Victoria died, the law we've now introduced stood, who would have become monarch in 1901?
Oh, I couldn't care less, I've just remembered.
I think you could. No, I think you could. It would have been...
Oh, wait a minute.
It would have
Hitler.
been
Is it Hitler?
No, it would have been... Very close. This is the point.
Is it Marty McFly?
No.
Firstborn daughter.
Her firstborn
Her
daughter
firstborn was a daughter. who was
Queen Mum.
Victoria. Her first daughter was Vicky, and
I meant
Vicky
Vicky.
died very soon after her mother. So her son would have been king, and her son was Kaiser William.
Oh.
So, had we had that law, Kaiser William would have been our king.
And we would now be speaking German. Is that
Or
what you're trying to
Germany
say?
would have been speaking English.
I would not be speaking German. I wouldn't have picked it up by now. I'd still be working through my GCSE.
But that is genuinely fascinating.
Wow.
I mean, so in 1914, what would have happened? We would have got rid of the monarchy, probably.
Right.
So
Yes.
many
So
ifs.
many things.
Yeah.
And if somebody had actually got him a horse...
Yes. He wouldn't have died in a car park in Leicester.
No, of course.
I can't believe that as well. It's a hell of an offer, my kingdom for a horse. It was a one-time offer and no one went,
Somebody with
go
a
and have
horse."
my horse.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I want it in cash.
Work out why this is true. No monarch on the British throne has ever been descended from Charles II. But if Prince William becomes king, he will be the first British monarch to be descended
Because
from
Diana was
Because
descended.
Diana was not just descended from Charles II, she was descended 4 times in 4 different ways from Charles II.
4 different ways.
Yeah. How many ancestors?
Hell of a lady.
Think how many ancestors you have from that period. She's descended in 4 of them, straight from Charles II. Now, what kind of sick person wants to be touched by a member of the royal family?
Quite fancied Diana.
Is Pippa Middleton royal?
No. She's not even a weather girl.
That is perhaps the most snobbish thing that's ever been said.
Not even a weather
I think she was descended from the weather girls of Saxe-Coburg.
She's very nice, I'm sure. Apparently she has a very nice bottom.
Nice.
Is this somebody...
Not
who's
really your
ill?
kind of thing, but
No,
yes, she
no,
does.
good.
Is there some
ill.
condition?
Somebody ill, yes. Ill people for hundreds of years would be killed... sorry.
Yeah.
Ill people would be killed. Ill people for hundreds of years would be cured by kings of England or indeed France.
It wouldn't really be, though.
No, but it was thought that they were. King's evil was a disease, which was an infection of the lymph nodes, really unpleasant, and it looked like little piglets, which the Latin for was scrofulae. So it was scrofula. You've probably heard the phrase scrofulus.
Yeah.
And it was thought that the king touching her, but the confessor certainly was probably amongst the first to do it, would touch people and give them a gold coin as well. King's evil. And it was sometimes with a hole in it so they could hang it round themselves to show. And the last one to do it was Charles II, and he touched 92,107 people.
Presumably, there's something of the placebo effect in being touched by the king, and lots of people went,
Yeah.
do you know what, I feel a lot
Well,
better.
if you've got piglets coming out of your neck, it's going to take more than a placebo to mend
It
that.
stopped... It was relatively recent. It was George I. He stopped it because it was too Catholic.
What, the TB?
No, the process of curing people.
So, we're not having any more of that.
The superstition was considered too Catholic. So it was got ridden of. There are some cultures have a culture against touching a royal. In the 1880s, a Siamese princess, it's around the time of Anna and the King of Siam, called Princess Sunanda Kamarirratana, drowned because nobody was able to touch her. They weren't allowed to touch a royal, so she just went down. But King Menelik II of Ethiopia, he was Christianised.
Menelik.
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 King Menelik.
Like Yoda.
He liked to cure himself by eating pages of the Bible.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh,
and he
an
died.
idiot.
He died.
Yeah.
But basically
Choked to death.
choking on the Book of Kings. Rather appropriate, I don't know, anyway. So, now, kingfishers. Most of the kingfishers of the world live near what?
Water.
Rivers.
No, they don't.
Forest.
Kingfishers.
No, most of the kingfishers in Britain live near water.
They live near a
Yeah, it's a
seven.
But most of the kingfishers in the world
Sea.
don't. No, not near water at all.
Well, why are they called kingfishers?
Because that's a British word for them. Because we, in Britain, see them by the river.
Well, they're called kingfishers all over the world.
No, they're called halcyon in Greek. And they're not called... What do you think they're called?
Well, that's just the Greek
Wapesca.
for kingfisher.
Halcyon, exactly, but it doesn't mean fisher.
There it is, fishing.
It's in Britain. In Britain.
And fishing again.
In Britain.
He does, I mean, the evidence is
In
there
Britain.
behind you.
Not to a magician. It
No,
is.
but if you go to
Somewhere
Africa,
that isn't Britain,
Africa.
for example.
Well, I've seen a kingfisher that not anywhere near a river. You're right.
Yeah, they're mostly...
Right.
And
in
it was
Africa,
all like this.
Yes,
no,
it was. It
mostly in Africa, they live in disused termite
It
nests.
looked lost.
They live in disused termite nests.
You haven't got a fish on your bill, have you?
Yes. I mean, it was a river around here. Yeah, water, everything.
What is the colour of that kingfisher?
It's so turquoisey, really, isn't it?
It's brown.
It's brown.
Yeah.
This programme's getting more and more ridiculous.
It is actually a sort of optical illusion. In fact, the actual colour pigment is brown, but it iridesces.
Well, I must remember, I'll
you're
go
sort of-
to the middle of the Sahara Desert and get one, and then put it in a darkened room and see what colour it is.
Yeah. Perfect.
Sorry, but
Just because it's not near a river doesn't mean it's in the Sahara
It eats
Desert.
fish.
are you saying that the colour it is isn't the colour that it appears to be?
No, because all colour is perception. Just about a wavelength of
But
light.
that's
is
kind of what
given
I
out.
meant by colour.
Yeah, but
That's a bluey colour, that colour.
But if you examine it in terms of its actual pigmentation,
Right up close.
right up close, rather than the way it is presenting with the light striking it.
Oh, right, so if I examine it without any light...
No.
That feels brown.
I just don't understand when you do this on the show. You go, well, that brown thing is a blue thing, that blue thing is a brown thing.
I know, but iridescence is a very particular quality. In the same way that petrol is not rainbow-coloured, but you put it on water in a puddle and it seems to be, but it's not the colour
It's
of petrol.
pink.
Nobody knows what colour petrol
Well,
is.
quite, exactly.
Because it goes into your car and see it.
Yeah.
That's right.
They used to
Any colour.
No one has ever checked.
Nobody's ever got what colour this is.
They used to have pink
It's
or,
the exact
pink or blue diesel, didn't they, for
Yeah, red
farmers?
diesel.
For
Yeah, which
farmers.
you're not allowed to put in your car, and I don't.
No, quite right.
Evading tax, Jeremy, it's a slippery slope. Go on.
OK, it's time for a little experiment. It's our K-series Knick-Knack. Ta-da! Talking of colours, I like to excite
Green,
you.
yellow and red.
I see that. What's that brown liquid?
These are all readily available liquids. This is blue curacao, which is a sort of liqueur.
Oh, delicious.
This is nothing more nor less than lemonade. And this is pomegranate juice.
We're making
sweet one.
cocktails.
Excellent.
So I'm going to mix them together.
Things are looking
right. There we are, and it'll go into a horrible sort of colour.
It's the colour of a kingfisher.
Just get the exact colour of a kingfisher.
Oh,
If you can now put them
Soft
back.
purple. And we put these away.
it's alchemy.
There we go.
What?
I'm going to pour here.
Different colour and a different...
There we are. Now, this is quite difficult, by the way, to catch on camera. But nonetheless, all you have to do...
Or indeed to the naked eye.
Oh, no, you hold it up to the light. And just tell me what colour it is.
Colour's that?
It's reddish.
It's got reddish.
Reddish. Yours
That's
is?
blue.
Blue. So you're seeing red and you're seeing blue. What can the reason be?
The shape of the glass.
Because of the shape of the glass. It's simply that. It's the width of the glass.
That's right, I work with James May, I know these things.
Taste sensation. Do you want to hear that?
You might just see on camera.
Oh, it's sweet enough.
Have you tried it?
It's quite sweet.
It's quite sweet.
It's pretty much
but
Christmas
quite
party.
My
funky,
teeth have
isn't
gone
it?
the same colour as Jeremy's.
You, could,
Why get the colour of a kingfisher?
you should be able to see on camera here.
Oh.
This one is both.
Oh, my God, no, I can see that. That's incredible.
The top bit is purple and the bottom bit is blue. Yes.
You're the best science teacher we've ever had.
Credit where credit is due. Let's have congratulations to this beautiful experiment, which was devised by Dr. Alice Bowen. Well done, Alice. Thank you. Now, let's see if we can get some points back with some simple royal questions.
Easy
How many
peasy.
King Henrys of England have there been?
Say it.
8.
There were 9, in fact. Henry II had a son who was known as young King Henry, who, according to the French tradition, was anointed king while Henry II, his father, was still alive. And so he wasn't given a regnal number of 3, but he was king, and he died at age 27 or so. And he was quite an amusing fellow. He was very popular. He died young, but when he was 17, he got in trouble with his father for refusing to turn up home at the castle for Christmas. Instead, he held a feast in Normandy in which he invited only knights whose names were William. It's a randomly peculiar thing to do. Anyway.
So he was actually Henry's the second and a half?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I love the idea of that party, though. The idea he's been to so many royal events and fancy weddings and gone, I can't remember everyone's name, I feel so impolite. I just want Williams, and then he just arrived and went, hello, William. You all right, William?
William.
Yeah,
Bill,
exactly. Saves you having to bother the name, like the Beefsteak Club in London, where all the staff are called Charles, whatever their names are. So you hear people going, oh, hello, Charles. I thought Charles would be in the bar today. No, my lord, Charles was ill, so Charles has taken his place.
Is this a real place?
This is a real place called the Beefsteak Club.
You're a member of that,
I
aren't
am,
you?
yes.
Oh, yeah?
It's a very old and distinguished club and very good fun. Don't mock me.
Yeah, we just go to a cafe, but...
It makes you more real.
Charles. Charles. Yes, Charles. Yes, a tea, please. 2 teas. Yeah.
The staff from there are probably watching this going, oh, it's that Stephen Fry. He thinks everyone's called Charles. Bloody idiot. Someone's just told you that the first day you arrived. It's a big practical joke on you.
Did they also ask you to go for a long wait?
Now, name the Queen's official residence.
I'll go Balmoral.
Ah! No.
I'm going 2A, Pall Mall.
2A Pall Mall, SW1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say official residence, Buckingham Palace. I meant Windsor Castle.
No! Windsor Castle!
I think actually a submarine is sinking somewhere.
Yeah.
The
Jeremy Clarkson.
Sandringham.
Sorry?
Sandringham.
Oh, Alany Woo, not Sandringham.
Being left out.
Yeah.
I wonder why they've got 3 different pictures of it.
Pall
It's got a palace.
3A, yes, 3A. Centre Parks, sorry, I don't know. The Eagle's Nest.
Does she have a static caravan?
If you are the American ambassador You present your credentials to...
It's actually the Queen.
The court of...
St James's Palace. Is that...
That is the right answer. If only I could
I wish I didn't have this
you lost.
speech impediment that made Buckingham
James's
sound...
Palace is the official residence of the monarch. Although she does, of course, spend most of her time in their second, third, fourth, fifth homes. Now, we have something... Here's some potassium iodide. It's a catalyst for my next experiment. Ooh. Yes. My next experiment also involves me having, for health and safety reasons, to wear these.
Wow. Cowabunga, dude. You look awesome.
Tell us your mighty king.
Oh, stop it, no.
I can tell from that sample you've had asparagus.
Well, what that is H2O2. Does anyone know what H2O2 is?
Water,
yes.
water.
Yes.
Water.
Double water.
It's H2O. It's water with an extra oxygen molecule, but it has a different name. They're a good audience. Hydrogen peroxide. Well, that's partly because 3/4 of the women have got blonde hair.
Yeah.
But it's quite unstable, and it's always trying to lose its extra molecule and turn to water and to oxygen gas. And we've mixed it here with some ordinary detergent, some washing up liquid. So, could you go and stand next to Bill? Because it's not really violent, but it's kind of...
What,
let's just say...
No. When I might have a human shield.
It's all right. You can be this side of him. It's not that side.
Stephen, you don't seem much concerned with my safety.
You can stand next to Jeremy. That's a good point. It's that much nearer, Alan. It's really that... You'll see, it's not going to be that violent.
dangerous.
It isn't dangerous. It isn't dangerous.
Just hold me.
Oh. It's basically...
Don't sit on my knee.
Don't stop.
I like
Are you ready? Do you want to count me down, audience? Count me down from 3. 3.
Well, what comes next?
2, 1. 0. There you go. I so agree. That's quite a money shot.
Stephen, are you suggesting if I get some of that potassium...
That will really make you perform in bed? No. Well, that's
amazing.
Magnificent.
Oh, yeah, that's it, baby.
He's going, yeah.
It's a rather horrible yellow at the edges, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it does get like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've been away.
Anyway, that brings us to the final scores while it's still flowing. And let's have a look here.
I have to hurry because you're going to be invisible.
Last place with minus 38 points, it's Jeremy Clarkson. Second equal with minus 19, Bill and Jimmy. Deceive me. Tonight's runaway winner with minus 18, Alan Davis. Well, an unquestionably knowledgeable audience takes the ultimate palm with plus 8. So, from Jimmy, Jeremy, Bill, Alan and me, good night.
Keeping the comedy rolling for Sunday night. Here on BBC Two, we've got Russell Howard on Never Mind the Buzzcocks next. Well, on BBC Three, Stan takes extreme measures when he sends Steve to a refugee camp instead of a summer camp.